down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Bang, bang. You tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show. My name is Stephen VanCauwenbergh, a.k.a. Savvy, the Savvy Landlord. Written a few books. Trying to do something for the last 20 years. It's been 20 years as a real estate investor. Man, every day seems like a new day. Every day seems like something went right and something went wrong. If you can understand, honk your horn, let them know, clap your hands, change your state. Because we're going to rock it with a new podcast today. Man, I miss you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world. And I hope that you miss me too. And more to come. Man, I'm dealing with all kinds of madness in my own world, just growing and developing physically, emotionally, just all around. Nothing negative, though. All positive, all good. In the hood of good of Oklahoma City. That's where I reside. That's where I bleed. And hopefully you are making it out there with this COVID madness. And I might even discuss that at the end. Anyway, I'm trying to stay with the rhythm of life. And I'm trying to appreciate every little detail, every little moment that we have. And I really appreciate some peeps that have reached out to me and, man, what's up with a podcast? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's really going on with the podcast. And he's like, man, I really miss the trenches, and that's actually one of my favorite episodes, just to be raw and real and authentic and not even try to have a plan. Just say, hey, this is what's cracking in my world. Hopefully you can learn and adapt from it. And actually, which is even crazier, I think just personally diagnosis of myself. Why have I not done podcasts? I looked it up, man. It's been over a month. And I'm like, man, what's going on? And I was just watching Life Church, go to life.church, Pastor Craig, things can change, but your calling keeps you rolling. And I'm like, man, what is my calling in life? I've reached pretty much all my goals and aspirations, followed the dollar that brings you down the wrong roads. You get to meet good people sometimes, and you get to meet some really bad people sometimes. And I think that's just this crapshoot of life. But what really is your calling? What really is my calling? And, what do I get jazzed up about? What excites me? Of course, when you do an acquisition, when you go for the kill and you win, right? I'm a competitive person. I like to play basketball. I like to make the baskets, right? No one wants to throw up bricks, right? But what's your calling? What brings you joy? What gets you up and fired in the morning? And I really had to stop and think about that. Actually, it's taken me a minute to think about that. Maybe a few minutes, maybe a week, maybe a month. And, I like to help people. I mean, for real. Like, I don't get paid on this deal. I don't even get a thank you every once in a while. I do have some secret admirer out there, and I think it's Big Will. He sent me a package not too long ago from the Shaving Club and all this cool stuff. And I haven't even had a moment to say thanks to him, but I appreciate that. My love language, gifts. My love language isn't words of affirmation. It's doing small things and little things. But I was really thinking about, man, what is my calling? And I just like to help people. I wouldn't use the word serve so much, but sometimes I used to get twisted about people just use me. And then I'm not receiving anything from them. But I think that what I've been maturing in my age is just to give without receiving, just to help people without any acknowledgement, without any return on investment. See, when you've been a real estate investor for 20 years, you believe that 20 years, everything has an ROI. Even my mind, when I buy my bicycle, can I use it for downhill? Can I use it just around the crib, around the block? It's got to have an ROI. Right. And then I've learned in this age, and if you want to know how old I am now, I'm 46, kicking it. And, I'm always focused on the ROI. That's just a natural thing inside of me as an investor. And I realized I need to not look for an ROI. I just need to put it forth. And I noticed this is some weird, bizarre thing. I was just in Arkansas not too long ago, kicking it with some friends, and we were boys. Somebody set this up and say, hey, we're going to go ride bikes. I'm like, I'm about that. It's been on my bucket list for real. I've always wanted to ride a mountain bike down a hill. And so we set this up, and we went down there. And I mean, it was my first time for real. I know it's just like, it was my first time. And it was exhilarating. It was fun. It was nerve-wracking. I was scared to death. Thank God we went to the little baby ones first, and then we just edged our way up. And I think that's life in general. But which is really crazy that happened. I know if probably my friends don't even listen to this. They too busy doing something else. But I did learn some powerful things. I should write them all out, but I did learn a lot while I was gone for the short amount of time. One of the things I learned dramatically was I found this Toyota key. I was riding all these dirt tracks all over the place, and I looked down and I found, it's got to be Jesus. I looked down at this one point, and I'm telling you, it's impossible to find stuff in out here on these trails. I look down and I see a Toyota key. And I'm like, man, my first heart just what hit to the bottom. I'm like, somebody out there, all these hundreds of people out here riding these bikes is freaking out because they don't have their key. And like I'm telling, people were from Wisconsin, people from all over the country, and you know, get on this Arkansas where they got three-legged dogs and Bill Clinton's from. And I was like, all right. So I picked up this key. I'm like, man, I'm gonna figure this out. And the dude that was driving us, the bus who would drive us up on top of the mountain and drop us off, he was kind of a douchey dude, and he wasn't real nice. And I'm like, man, how am I gonna give somebody this key? So my mind, I'm running down the mountain. I'm like, man, my mind is going tripping. I'm like, how am I gonna give somebody this key? And my first thing was, I was like, okay, I'm going to open up every Toyota or try to open and just leave the key in the car. Cause I can't imagine. I mean, I'm telling you, this dude, you're just stuck like Chuck. Your life is over. You can't get in your car. You can call AAA and then come unlock you, but how are you going to get home? I mean, we're talking, this is a serious situation for somebody else. And my heart's just pounding. I'm like, man, the cool thing is I ride down the mountain and boom, I'm like, anybody need a Toyota key? And the dude turns around. You could see in his eyes. He's like, oh my, yes, my homeboy lost his key. And you know, it was exhilarating, right? What's my calling, right? What's the return on investment? I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to pick up a key. You know, I could have just gave it to the bus dude and just moved on. No, I want to go above and beyond. But see, what was interesting, it was cool, right? I was on the bus, and the guy was like thankful, and I was like, man, I was going to say something about Jesus. I'm like, this is a total God thing. Like, God, I was going to say to this dude, when I didn't, I punked out, I pushed out. I was like, man, this is a Jesus thing, homie, because there's nobody in the world is going to look down. I'm telling you, it was covered in dirt, and I barely saw it. And I stopped up this mountain where I had to like get off the bike because it was just too steep. And I looked down, and there was this key. And I didn't even get to share that. I didn't even get to share the story with a dude. I didn't even tell him anything. I was like, here's the key. They were all excited. And I could see his face just come back. It was like straight white. I mean, I can't imagine. So that's all good and gravy. And I was like, bang, bang, hey, good luck. I was like, I was a hero for about 30 seconds. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool. And so then I'm going back up to the mountain. And then I'm on a new trail. My homie's like, we got to get the blues on. I'm like, the blues? All right, what's the difference? I figured that out real fast. On the blues, I had this little powered speaker, Bluetooth speaker on my bike. Thought I was somebody cool, jamming out to some music. Anyway, on the blue track, which is like Death Valley in my mind, the dadgum speaker fell off somewhere in the mountain somewhere. For real. And it was just this cliche, classic slap in the face, Satan trying to get me. And I mean, it's a $20 speaker, y'all, so it's not even a big deal. But, man, I was kind of bummed for about a minute. When I got back down at the mountain, I'm like, oh, man, I lost my speaker. I'm over here, Lord, and this is my prayer. This is how weak I am. I was like, Lord, I'm over here serving this dude, got his key. I was the savior. And then look at me with the broken down thing with no speaker. And I just felt pity for myself. And I was like, how could this be? Oh man, poor me. Janky in my mind. I'm like, I can't even believe a $20 item can cause the turmoil in my mind, like I was left out, the victim. And I can't even imagine. I mean, this dude, a victim. Long story short, I went down the mountain. I was like, okay, guys, I got to go back up to, Blue Death Trail number 2 to try to find this. And so I'm like cruising down this little mountain, trying to find, not even having fun, because I'm trying to find this dadgum speaker, which is only $20. So let me just tell you one more time, $20. It didn't make me holler. And then I get to the bottom, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get it. And I'm like, I'm trying to cheer myself up, trying to do the mental game. Oh, it's no big deal, VanCauwenbergh. It's only 20, but I really like this speaker. And next thing you know, out of nowhere, some dude, old guy, he's like, I got your speaker. And now this is weird. This dude, he was a different type of guy. I mean, he cursed all the time. He was an older dude. He said he was like 50. I think he looked like he was 60, 70. And he had his son that was like 22. And he was just like wild. And I'm like, man, if that was my dad, I'd be a little nervous. And my homie was like, yeah, that kid was real quiet, but the dad was all wild. I'm like, man, am I like that? And what was interesting, the Lord spoke to me right there. He's like, yo, I'm in control, even on a $20 speaker. So you got to ask yourself, I know, where does it get all emotional? See, this is why I'm not doing podcasts, y'all. This is what's cracking. This is why I'm not doing podcasts, man. I'm emotional, man. I'm going through just life in general. Just one of the main things that has impacted me is my son right now. And I'm seeing him transform in front of my eyes. Like, it's just nutty. Like, he's 9 years old and he's becoming like, he's not this naive little boy. He's still a naive little boy half the time. And then sometimes the dude's like super smart and like educated and I mean, like, aware, cognitive, understands, and he's not a little boy no more. And it's just an emotional situation where did I miss out? Where did I miss out on life? What did I miss out on this dude? How did I do it wrong? Am I doing it right? Am I giving him all his needs? And so that's one of the things I want you to realize. What's your calling right now? Your calling could be just to be a father. Your calling right now could just be to get out of debt. Your calling could just be to fulfill somebody else, to serve when no one else serves, to do things when no one else wants to do. Man, that's not how you do an intro. Well, that's how we do it at the Savvy Radio Show. Welcome to the show. Anyway, I did shoot a couple of emails out to some homies, like, what are you dealing with? Do you have any burning questions? This is some folks that I'm hanging out with right now, and they shot me back a couple of things, and I'm like, okay. So I was like, this is pretty decent material, so I'm going to break off these questions to me. But if you want to help me, and hopefully I can help you in some way or fashion, maybe motivated your tail to get something going, to help me, to help you, is just ask me some questions of life, whatever. Let me help you, and you can help me with some content of questions. So this awesome dude out of nowhere straight was the first one that emailed me like at midnight. I'm not even sure. I need to look at this dude's email. Let me see. Boom, boom. When did homeboy? It was in the afternoon. Anyway, so he's like, man, I'm killing it at a wholesaler. I'm doing 4 or 5 deals a month, and I'm straight killing it. My marketing, I got dialed in. I got all the tricks and whistles rolling, but my main problem is I can't sell them. I was like, now that's interesting. Now this homeboy is in another state. And I was like, you can't sell your wholesale deals. Something is not right in my mind. Now, I'm pretty impressed with this cat. I know him for a long time. I've been keeping up with him, and he's been moving from different markets for a while. He sets a stake down and starts grinding it, build relationships with people, and then he moves on to his home state. Pretty impressive if you ask me. It sounds glamorous, but it's not easy. And so I'm like, this dude's killing it. I go, well, my first thing that popped in my mind And he said in the email, which was pretty savvy, he's like, I'm going to focus on dispositions. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, you focus on dispositions. But my main question, number one, homeboy, is it priced too high? And is your math correct? Now, man, this is where my coaching comes in, and this sounds kind of douchey, don't it? Is your price too high? Because I'm just coming from a different perspective here in Oklahoma City, where there is no deals. There is deals if you market properly. That's the one thing I want to let everybody know. Yes, you can find deals. I know there's no deals because you're lazy, because the people that are doing deals, they're spending quite a few dollars in marketing. And it's not that you could drop 1,000 or 2,000 or maybe even 10, or some people drop 30. The trick to this game and this environment that we're in right now is consistency. You got to stay on it every day. You got to have a marketing plan, and you got to execute that marketing plan, and you got to have the finances to execute the plan. Okay. You can't just whip up a plan like, okay, I'm going to drop $1,000 a month for real. How long are you going to drop off $1,000 a month? Are you going to test it? Do you have all the right information behind it? Obviously, homeboy that emailed me, he has it dialed in. I mean, he's doing 4 or 5 deals. Now, he may be doing 4 or 5 deals that are overpriced. He may be offering too much, which is a technique that some wholesalers do to get into the market. They promise the wrong price and then try to sell it, and they can't do it. So that's my first thing, homie, is that you've got to ask this intimate question of yourself. You make sure your numbers are right. Is it priced too high, and is your math correct? Like, meaning your rehab. Are you deducting the exact repairs? If you don't know the repairs, then get a contractor over there. And you got to remember, it's risk versus reward for the real estate investor. You're taking the risk by marketing and getting it under contract of sorts, and then you're selling it to the end investor. He is taking a risk and has to do the reward. So is your pricing correct on your rehab? Is your pricing on the location? And then when you're pricing it, how are you pricing it? Are you leaving enough room under the table? But, I've been, I'm about to do this mastermind group. It starts in like 15 days or so. And one of the tasks you're going to have to do as a mastermind student here is that you're going to have to practice all over Facebook. Like you're just going to learn how to sell things and learn how to buy things and how to get things at 50 cents on the dollar in general. Okay. And so what I realized with my own testing is when I drop something on Facebook, I get 20 inquiries within an hour. Obviously, I priced it too low. And it could be an oddball item. I'm trying to think of the item, my son's bed. My son wanted a new bed, and he's at a different age again. Remember, he's transforming into a man, and the kiddie bed don't work for homeboy. So I was like, that's cool. So let's sell that. And I had 20 people blow up my deal. Obviously, I priced it right, sold it. Some girl paid me through Facebook, which I've never done that before either. Through PayPal, was off the chain. And then, and I'm going to do all this in class, but then I actually had someone overpay me for an item. I got screenshots, blah, blah, blah. But so you got to be able to create a desire to purchase your property. Either you got to create a sense of urgency. This won't last. Like I just had someone, I'm selling this item right now. This is live and direct. I'm looking at my computer. I got my son's computer desk up here, and they say, hey, Steven, is it available? Can I come by today? Will you take 35? First of all, if you come out and just with a low ball offer, that don't work. Like you got to work people in. You can't just hit people up. So my first thing was I slap them back with a nice way. I say, I have several people that want to take it tonight. If they don't do it, I'll let you know by Saturday. So they didn't even respond. What I'm doing right there, I'm just testing their commitment ability. I'm testing how serious they want it. Are they ready? And I did a similar response, and that's when that dude paid me $10 more for a $50 item. And that item actually bought for $75, put it on Facebook for $50 after 2 years of use, and then I got $60 out of the game. Now, these are zero little numbers, but that's just what it is. So when I was talking to my homeboy, when I was reading his email, I came up with these 12 things. fast and furious. So here we go. The first thing I want to let you know, if you're a real wholesaler in the world, I don't care where you're at, Phoenix, what's up, homeboys, Tennessee, wherever, Ohio, this is how I do it. This is how I've been doing it. I got 10 people, solid investors that have money or have access to money, and it's a no-brainer. I don't need massive lists of buyers because you're just kicking tires for other people because they're going to call you and waste your time. I can call 3 people right now. This is the address. This is the price. They'll either say yes, no, over the phone, or give me the code. And then I have 5 that I know for sure it's a no-brainer. And I run it past these 5 people, and if they don't want to buy it, then I know I either have it too priced or I have it in the wrong location. But just in case I could be wrong, because I am savvy, and it doesn't mean I'm 100 all the time. So here's a quick 12. 1, obviously, if you're going to retail this or you're overpriced, Facebook groups work. There's investor Facebook groups, but I usually sell a property priced right within the weekend. In Oklahoma City, it is so hot, it's burning hot. Stuff doesn't even hit the Facebook page. I mean, it's crazy. For fun, you should put houses or at least test what's going out or paying attention to pricing. Look at what someone's selling. What did it close for? Keep track of your market. Knows what the values are. Okay. 2, have your own put it on your own Facebook page. I put my own stuff on there, even though I try to keep my business life a little bit separate than my personal life, but you can't in society today. So you need to use all methods possible and get as many friends to forward it as possible. Okay. Here's an idea for you. Number 3. So number 1, Facebook groups, retail-ish, investor groups. Number 2, your own Facebook page. Okay. And when you're posting something about what you're trying to sell, some people think that you're still trying to buy, and you might want to put that on there as well. We do buy houses. I see this all the time. I see a lot of rookies. They try to sell stuff or they try to buy stuff, but they don't really communicate what they actually are doing. What you need to do if you're selling or dispositioning a property, say, I also am buying as well. This is just one of units that I am trying to unload, or an inventory that I need to replenish, or whatever. Give yourselves the illusion that you're doing high volume, that you are a player, and they should be doing business with players. Number 3, here's a great idea. Create a bandit sign with hand. Go to Walmart. Go to Home Depot, buy a blank sign, and put owner financed around the property. Not on the property, around the property. What do you mean? Well, if you advertise, don't even put the address. So go owner finance, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, call my number. Well, they're going to call your number. Well, Stephen, how's that going to help me? I'm trying to sell the property. Well, this is how it works. There's people like me that will loan people money on owner finance. So what do you mean? Let me tell you. If you brought me a property that you're trying to sell, disposition as a wholesaler, I will buy the property, especially if you find me a tenant buyer that can't fund it. So you can have all the investors on your investor list, but what kind of list would it be if you had 100 people begging for owner finances? Ooh. People that are good people that may only have a credit score 600. Ooh. Or a whole list of people that have $5,000 and that want to get into a property, whatever condition it is. And I'm the guy that can close it out for you. There is 100 of me all over the world. And I know friends that do it all over the country, and they're based in Texas and Oklahoma that loan money in Indiana, in Ohio, and in Tennessee, in Texas, and all over the flipping place. So you got to be creative, be unique in how you do this. Don't just follow the average, be above the average. If it was me, I'd make some owner finance signs. Your phone is going to go off the hook. You're going to say you could drive and buy the property and you still have it vacant. You could show the property, and then you can even get it on an owner finance or owner contract or a contract for deed or a land contract. And then you could call up an investor, say, listen, I got a tenant buyer. They got $5,000 cash and they want to buy the property, and you could just make the spread off the interest. And then if you want to really work for an investor, you could just say, what's the price you want to what you want to make on it. So if you're trying to sell me the property for 60 and you found a tenant buyer at 70, there's $10,000 equity and I don't have to touch the property and they're going to put $5,000 down, I'll loan you to 65 all day, every day. Boom. Somebody say amen, clap your hand, honk your horn, look at you crazy, put your thumb up in the air and do a big smile or clap them, baby, because that's how you do it. Be creative. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Go to the left. I could not get here on this radio show if I followed everybody else. Or if I put on Facebook, I bought 58 deals this week or 68 deals or 38 deals or 8 deals. It does not matter. It's the person that's grinding it out that no one knows that's doing it right. Number 4, local auctions. Try them out. They work. You can call a local auction house and they may throw your house up there real fast. Now, I know you have it under contract. You have some equitable interest. You might need to do an addendum to your contract so you have the legal right to do this. But you could, an auction could be posted up next week and they can slide it in. I've seen this many times over where all the advertising says we have 5 houses. By the way, fellas, we have a house coming up, and they shoot an email out and you can buy it that way on a contingency on a viewing of the property or an inspection. 5, local realtors, rookie realtors on top of that. Maybe work out a profit share with this rookie realtor. They're hungry. They just got their licenses. There's no deals out there. I feel sorry for every rookie realtor out there that just became a realtor, because where are they getting these, especially in the investment world, where are they getting these listings? Now, that real estate's always going to change hands, but, with the new technology, and do you really need a realtor? Yes, you do. Yes, you don't. But the reality is they're hungry. They may work for you. I've worked with several realtors that are just rookies that are just starting out, and they would love to list a house on a contingency basis. Flyers work. I owe every property that I sell. My method is I call 5 people or I text 10 people, and then I get a scope, and then I tell them in my text message, I'm going to list this on blast on Monday. I'm going to list this on blast on Sunday. But when I don't get responses in 2 or 3 days, which is normal, sometimes, it could be an odd time, I start creating a flyer, and then I can use that same flyer for a flyer box. Yep, flyer boxes work. And then that same flyer that I made in Google Drive, I could use it, make a JPEG out of it, and I use it on my advertisement on Facebook. Boom. Now, if you get real, that's 6 right there. If you get real desperate, you might want to try number 7. Go to the courthouse. There's landlords roaming around the courthouse during eviction time, especially right now, because you can't evict people apparently or something. You can go there with your flyer that you made on number 6 and just pass about. Property managers, that's number 9 or 8, 9, whatever. No, number 8 is network with your RIA group, online, in person. Go on meetups and just blast the house as a message on the message board. If you're in, Texas and Houston, there's like 8 RIAs. In Dallas, there's like 20 RIAs. I don't know where you're from. Oklahoma City, there's like 3 RIAs. And I have a little meetup group. People post on my meetup thing all the time. Post it on there. I got a house for sale. Reach as many people as possible. If you want to be real savvy, hire a VA. That's all they do. $100, man. You get it sold for $100 if you hired a VA, and just give them the verbiage, give them what you want it to say. They can cut and paste all night long. And if you want to be real surreal's gangster, get a video done. Hire a video guy locally if you don't have time, or get a gimbal. I just found out from one of my homeboys that you can try a action pocket camera. I don't know, man, but I'm getting tired here. Number 9, property managers linked to landlords. Now, you might be at the courthouse, you might touch a property manager, but I know at least 12 property managers by name, just through the years. They're always buying, they're always representing. They're either selling or buying, or they're buying themselves. They're in the game for a specific reason. It's very rare that a property manager, unless it's for a big organization, is not buying houses. They're great. They know they have the mechanics behind them, meaning they have contractors. They can make it work. And so that would be my first call. I usually go after my 10 investors. Then I go after the property managers. But by then I usually sell them by Facebook anyway. Bankers, number 10. Now they're investors. Some bankers are, but ultimately bankers know investors. They loan money to investors, and they have 2 or 3 investors that they're friendly with. Pass it on to him. It makes that banker look good to pass it on to them. And you may be pleasantly surprised. I sold a business to a banker once, and I've also sold a property to another banker before. Bankers do buy. They're customers as well, and they usually tend to pay a little bit more. They're anal about the appraisal, but they don't have time, so they're willing to pay a little bit more. Number 11, JV with other wholesalers. Bang, bang. I see it all the time, man. And I just apparently did one the other day. I got a house on a contract. I really communicated with the seller. I believe this is what we could sell it for a quick sale. This other outfit thinks they're OGZ, and they may be. We'll see if they can close Z at the timely manner as anticipated. All of a sudden now I'm a rapper. I'm just joking. But anyway, their whole job is to have a ton of buyers on their list, and they just shoot an email out, and you can rent their list, pay them $500, or JV with them. I'd rather JV with them and split the profit than no profit at all. I know that around the country, a lot of really good wholesalers are JVing with other wholesalers, even wholesalers they don't like, even family members that they don't get along with. But money is green, and it rains fast with someone helping you, aka joint venture, JV, make it happen. And then number 12, this is the final one. I can go on all day. If this was valuable, let your boy know. But bandit signs, call other people bandit signs. Somebody else knows somebody that wants a property. Now, if you go through these 12 and you don't sell it, you're overpriced, period. You don't know what you're doing. Go back to the boardwalk and start all over again. And if you really are stumped, then put the photos on a drive, get the address, get the Zillow, get the comps, and then get another set of eyes. You can send it to me. I look at deals all over the country. I know when a real investor, and if you don't have that in your neighborhood or in your network, then that would be my first goal for you. You need to find a friend that's genuine, that's not benefiting from you, that can say that's a deal, that's not a deal, and your life will be grand. Anyway, I hope this empowered you. I hope this will make you a difference in your world. This is your boy, Steve VanCauwenbergh. Email me, textbook me. What in the world? Text me, Facebook me, holla at your boy. Give me a good review. Let me know that you like it. And whatever you do, go buy assets.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.